want to talk about Elon Musk. He said that he's seeking $1 trillion in savings by July 4th, 2026. All right? Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. That's not what I wanted to play. How did that happen? Oh, brother. Let's see what we can do here to fix that. Bam, bam. There we go. Let's rock.
All right, Elon Musk is chipping away at his goal of $1 trillion in government spending cuts. And he laid out DOGE's strategies during closed-door meetings in Washington yesterday.
Ty Pyro joins us with the details. Good morning, Ty.
Hey, guys. Good morning to all of you. The CEO gathered with dozens of GOP leaders for back-to-back meetings at the Capitol
I got you,
on Wednesday,
DJ
where he shared updates on the progress of the Department of Government Efficiency, also known by DOGE. You know that by now. Musk telling the roughly 40 senators that DOGE's efforts are saving about $4 million per day. He says they've already cut $105 billion in wasteful spending. That breaks down to over $650 per taxpayer.
In 6 weeks, we've been able to annually save the federal government, you guys, taxpayer dollars of and this is estimated, $105 billion in 6 weeks. Do you know how many people are upset right now? Do you know how many, forget the laid off employees, you know how many bags you tapping into, you know how many people pockets you touching, that they are mad. They are mad. They are absolutely pissed off that you cut off the spigot and there's no longer a waterfall of money that is guaranteed and promised. I get it now. I now understand why people were so dedicated. I mean, honestly, you seen some of the richest people that were sitting here caping for Kamala Harris. I mean, you seen the Mark Cubans and this guy and that guy, and you would think to yourself, like, wait a minute, wasn't y'all Trump supporters? Why would you even be, you know what I'm saying? And that's not Mark Cuban specifically, but it was a ton of rich people that were basically caping, and behind the scenes, they were spending money and building super PACs. Absolutely, you gonna do that because, man, listen, the worst thing that could have ever happened to a lot of people that was finessing the federal government and getting these contracts and getting these kickbacks, you thought they cared about diversity, equity, and inclusion? You thought that they cared about women's rights? You thought that women was going to lose your right to vote? No, that's for you dumb people. That's for the dummies. The dummies are the ones that get caught up in the messages and they can't look behind the scenes to see what the real play is. The dummies are the ones that fall for the okie goat because they know that they got to incentivize you guys to go to the polls and vote against your own best interest. This is your best interest. And they don't want this to get cut off. $105 billion a year in 6 weeks. And he's going to trend towards $1 trillion. I know it's somebody that was getting gams, Social Security checks for the last 15 years that never declared that she was dead. He like, man, what the piss is going on here?
The CEO telling lawmakers there's more to come.
Mr. Musk, what was your message in there to House Republicans? What was your message in there, Mr. Musk?
There's a lot of opportunity to improve expenditures in the government, and then we're making good progress in that regard.
This all comes after Democrat lawmakers joined protesters opposing the spending cuts, while House Speaker Mike Johnson says DOGE is making much-needed progress.
Look at how scared all of them Democrats are. That is a face of fear right there. That's not a face of confidence. That is a face of fear.
This extraordinary work that Elon Musk is doing with DOGE, that he's explaining to our House Republicans tonight, is transformative. It's really revolutionary in the way that we'll do budgeting. We'll limit the size and scope of the federal government, and we'll be much more accountable to taxpayers in this country, and that is long overdue.
Musk says he's looking to cut around $1 trillion in government waste. A lawmaker close to the department tells Fox News Digital, quote, the executive DOGE team is confident they think they can get $1 trillion. He acknowledged that we're going to make some mistakes, but we're going to correct them. very quickly. Back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Todd. So right away, if you asked Elon Musk, he wants to get rid of a whole department, National Environmental Policy Act. He goes, I'd get rid of the whole thing. Yesterday, Doug Collins came out and said, I'm looking at the VA. We could fire 80,000 employees. It's going through the secretary. And that, to me, shows it's some research. They're doing a fantastic job, but there is a sense inside that meeting that they want Elon Musk to start coordinating with Elon Musk group, to coordinating with the cabinet secretaries so they don't have the inevitable missteps that happen when you're trying to do this transformation that they're doing.
The reason he wants, Lawrence, the reason he wants to get rid of NEPA, which is the National Environmental Policy Act that you're talking about, Brian, he says it allows climate advocacy groups to challenge infrastructure and energy projects in court, which delays them. Scrapping NEPA would be a win for Republicans who want to develop and process energy faster, particularly.
Did y'all see what Elon Musk said to Joe Rogan? I'm going to play that for you really quickly. Let me see if I can find it up real quick. I want to just share this with you guys because I want y'all to know what y'all are dealing with. Y'all are dealing with some of the most evil people on the face of the earth.
I just want to emphasize the sheer madness of the government. It's just because they have magic money computers that the checks never bounce for the federal government. So you don't have the normal corrective mechanism that you'd have for a company or for an individual. The checks just always clear. The net result is inflation, which is effectively a tax on everyone. But the Defense Department hasn't passed an audit in I don't know how many years.
7 years.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
If you bring it back to the idea that it's a business.
Well, yeah.
This would never be tolerated in any kind of functional business.
Exactly. So, the Pentagon will their accounting error, the stuff that they lose in the couch cushions is $20-30 billion a year. They just don't know where it went. It's gone. Where'd it go? And it's gone.
Just to tie.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Dude says the stuff they lose in couch cushions, and he hasn't even started. He hasn't went to the Department of Defense. I heard that IRS agents are being laid off. I heard that they're laying off 35,000. Is it 35 or 45,000? 35 or 45,000. So you just missed just $20 billion, $30 billion just disappear out of nowhere, and it's not a big deal. $30 billion, it just disappears out of nowhere and nobody trip about it. They're saying that the IRS is now specifically, potentially, about to lose more than half of its 90,000 member workforce. Up to 45,000 IRS agents are going to be laid off. Now, I'm never from anybody to specifically lose their job, but if they decided they wanted to cut a specific agency, I'm not mad at the play on this one.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and good morning to you if you're just now tuning in. This Wednesday morning, we're following some breaking news as it relates to the Internal Revenue Service. This coming in from the Associated Press. They report the IRS is drafting plans to cut its workforce by as much as half through a mix of layoffs, attrition, and incentivized buyouts, according to two people familiar with the situation. The people spoke on condition of being anonymous because they weren't authorized to disclose the plans. The layoffs we're learning are part of the Trump administration's efforts to shrink the size of the federal workforce through billionaire Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. We're told this is expected to happen by closing agencies, laying off nearly all probationary employees who have not yet gained civil service protection, and offering buyouts to almost all federal employees through a, quote, deferred resignation program to quickly reduce the government workforce. A reduction in force of tens of thousands of employees would render the IRS dysfunctional, this coming from a former IRS commissioner. The federal tax collector employs roughly 90,000 workers total.
90,000 people? 90,000 people working for the IRS. That is a lot of people
across the U.S., according to the latest IRS data. People of color make up 56% of the IRS workforce. Women represent 65%.
What did I say? What happens when layoffs happen? That women are the ones that ultimately suffer the most, right?
Already, roughly 7,000 probationary IRS employees with roughly 1 year or less of service were laid off from the organization in February. The organization also offered IRS employees, along with almost all federal employees across the government, deferred resignation program buyouts through IRS employees involved in the 2025 tax season. We're told they were told earlier this month that they would not be allowed to accept a buyout offer from the Trump administration until mid-May, after the taxpayer filing deadline. In addition to the planned layoffs, the Trump administration intends to lend IRS workers to the Department of Homeland Security to assist with immigration enforcement. In the letter sent in February, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem asked Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to borrow IRS workers to help with ongoing immigration crackdown efforts.
Yeah. So, anyways, Trump is going to be Elon Musk is going to be hunting for over $1 trillion in annual savings. I think that is going to be beautiful. It is going to save America from filing for bankruptcy, and we can allocate more resources to the things that actually matter, while at the same time boosting revenues by incentivizing businesses to come open up in the United States of America through A, tariffs, and B, a lower tax rate. That is what is happening in our government. And I think that is beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. If any organization in the world has, for the last 20 to 25 years, operated in the negative, they would have already been closed by now. They would have already been closed by now. There's no way that you can keep any place open for this long and think that we can continue to print money. One of the reasons why the cost of living is going down, one of the reasons why so much inflation is because we keep on printing money so we can give it to people that don't deserve it and they can live the lifestyle that they want to live. Yeah. But make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We had a phenomenal live stream yesterday. I got another one coming up, and then I got some requests from people that wanted me to do some live streams and or some videos for y'all to drop to give y'all some more insight. And I'm working on those. Great stream today. I had a ball. Somebody said Anton just be having a whole lot of fun in that studio. I do. Studio be going up on a Thursday.